Tell me, though, what's his technique? That last strike, it seems invincible.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Sons of the Dragon, the Immortal Iron Fist podcast. And today we are joined with Rebecca. It is just Rebecca and I, Karl Stout.
Hi.
Hey, Rebecca.
Hey.
And we are going to be covering Iron Fist 75. We're not going to get into the arguing over the numbers because it's asinine. And we have a very interesting cover.
Yes.
I don't know
this time.
I don't know how I feel about this cover, Rebecca.
It's not my favorite of them.
Danny is done relatively well until you get to the face area. Then he kind of looks like a pug. And I'm not digging Sabretooth in the background at all.
Yeah, it's definitely not my favorite of the covers.
And I don't think it's humanly possible for a left leg to do that. Even if he is a mutant, I don't think your ankle can go in that direction with your foot and your knee and calf pointing in the other direction.
Probably
Especially if you're about to land, I think that would cut. It's a good thing he has a healing factor.
Yeah,
he's gonna need
exactly.
it.
Maybe that's what he's relying on, the healing factor. I like Danny's muscle definition.
Oh no, the body, Danny's body position, his hands, his muscle tone.
The fact he has a crotch.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that to be rude, but it's unusual for superheroes.
The calf,
how his ankle's bent's lovely as well. And
yes, how the fabric is highlighted. The coloring, fantastic.
Yeah.
And even the wall he's holding on to next to a satellite dish.
Mm-hmm.
Because, paying for cable sucks. All done fantastically. It's the really behind
it's the grimace,
him. His puss and what's going on behind him that's kind of lacking. It's like,
I quite like how the mask ties drift upwards to the top of the cover, even though that makes them incredibly long.
Yeah, down to his ankles.
Yeah. But it's a nice effect. You're right, it's Sabretooth that kind of...
It's
weird. It looks like two different covers.
Yeah, and it even pulls your eye away from the artwork that is in front of you that is 500 times better, which is really a shame. And I'm trying to look up what the variant cover was, because, of course, now everything has to have two covers. Mm-hmm. And the variant cover, I actually did post this on the Facebook page a while ago, is Danny in red throwing a right punch that's, I'm going to say it's turning into the Phoenix. It's not turning into the Dread.
Yeah, because they're doing the Phoenix covers. It'll be a Phoenix one. Because they're doing a thing of Phoenix covers.
Danny is in the red and yellow outfit, which, as we know...
Bad things.
Yes, bad things, and also wasn't really Danny, but we'll get into that much later.
Yes. Much later, God, yeah.
It'll probably be just me and you getting into it, because Connor wants to, skip over most of that stuff. I want to do the 8 important issues and then go right into Immortal.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We've got to be able to catch up on some of the current stuff first. I guess just briefly on that, there's been some news this week.
Yes.
That first of all, we've got Alice Eves being cast in Iron Fist season 2. Right. And
but who could she possibly be?
Well, there's rumors that Madame Gorgon's going to be the bad guy in inverted commas for the season. I have no idea. I like Alice Eve, so we shall see. And what's the other news? What I was thinking about with the numbers. So Iron Fist is going to be in the Doctor Strange mini event thing called Doctor Strange Damnation.
Mm-hmm.
It starts in February, written by Donny Cates and Nick Spencer.
That's the one I showed the cover of on the
Yeah,
Facebook page.
exactly.
I saw
So, and
like about a
it's going to
week
have
ago.
Moonknight appears, Johnny Blaze, and some others.
It just keeps getting better. Iron Fist,
Yeah,
Moon Knight, Ghost Rider, and Doctor Strange.
yeah. And
how could possibly that book be bad?
oh, and it's also going to have Ben Reilly in. Whether that's good or bad for you, I don't know. I'm not a massive Ben Reilly knowledgeable person, but
And that's Sensational Spider-Man?
I don't know which one. I just know he's one of the clones. So,
Or was he?
oh, don't start. That's the bit I like about it. But yeah, so because it's going to involve trying to restore Las Vegas after what happened in Secret Empire, which is Las Vegas gets. And the reason Ben Reilly's in it, which is what people keep asking, is because Ben Reilly's comic at the moment is taking place in Las Vegas. So it makes sense. So one of the things they announced this week is that some of the titles are going to have not tie-ins, but they're gonna reference what's going on in it, and one of them will be Iron Fist. I think 2 or 3 issues of Iron Fist are gonna take place within the same kind of thing. So when we get to them on our monthly basis, we'll be referring back to what's happening in Damnation.
Mm-hmm.
Moon Knight isn't, funnily enough. And also out of it is going to become Ghost Rider Johnny Blaze issue 1. Don't know if it's a one-off or if it's actually going to be the start of something beautiful, but that's the news as is. The news comes not from Marvel officially. It comes from, if you go to Amazon and look up Doctor Strange Damnation, that's what the trade says it includes.
Uh-huh.
So it was on Bleeding Cool, and I don't know if they said it's been taken down now or not. I'm just having a quick look what it says, because then I can sort of tell you. Yeah, no, it's due out in July or something, the book, because obviously it's a trade. It's going to have Damnation 1 to 4, Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider 1, Doctor Strange 386 to 389, Iron Fist 78 to 80, and Ben Reilly 15 to 17. So I have 3 issues of Iron Fist that are coming up quite soon, going to refer back to this event. So,
well, I guess that means his current storyline is going to wrap up in 2 issues.
I guess it means that I don't know, because I'm guessing they'll go back to it, because I can't imagine they'll have really tied up the whole. This is obviously the big long story that Britain wants to tell, is what's happening with Kunlun. Mm-hmm. I can't really see them tying it up in 2 issues, and if they do, I'm not sure how keen I am for that. But I can see Danny being dragged off to deal with Mephisto. And let's face it, we all want him with Doctor Strange, because we all want to know about this Eye of Agamotto.
Yes.
If they deal with that, they're honestly my heroes. Like, seriously. So if they can stop me and Karl complaining about that, they are my heroes. But Donny Cates did manage to pull off a massive reveal in Doctor Strange this week. So who knows? Marvel letting him play with some very interesting toys.
Oh, see, now I'm going to have to read that issue. I haven't read that one.
Yeah.
I did.
It's got one of the best last page reveals I've read in a long time.
I've caught up on Spirits of Vengeance, which is very interesting.
I didn't like it.
Well, how can you not like it when it's not over yet?
I haven't liked it so far, and I've really tried.
It's just because Damon Hellstrom is keeping his shirt on. That's your biggest issue.
That's about 90% of my issue. Not gonna lie. I'm not a massive fan of that art style, so it makes it quite hard for me.
Yeah, it is an acquired taste.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not gonna lie.
I don't hate it. I'm not all in like I thought I would, and now I'm kind of a little bit distracted by Damnation, which I'm hoping will, Damnation would only be better for me if it had Hellstrom in as well. So, yeah, I like Blade in it a lot. Which has been nice, because obviously no one's seen Blade much recently, so that's been nice. But I thought I'd love Hellstrom, and I'm kind of I'm a bit on him, so it's kind of it shook me up a little bit.
I want to know what he did in that demon town.
Ah, yeah, me too.
That's more interesting than what he's actually done in the issue.
Yeah, that's the problem. So I just want to know more about them. But I think there's some good stuff going on at Marvel. I'm very looking forward to Damnation, mostly because of it's got my two boys in Moonknight and Iron Fist.
And speaking of Moon Knight, I was getting a little lost in the newest one. It was a little screwy for me. I initially started out liking it, and it was just getting too weird. But since the renumbering of Moon Knight,
good, right?
Oh my God!
One of the best things coming out. That
fantastic.
Marvel,
checking out Moon Knight. Pick up the last two issues.
Definitely, so good, so good. And my other massive recommendation is a book that totally, again, sidelined me. Picked it up on spec because Donny Cates is headlining my local convention next year, and I was like, oh, I want to have some comics that I can take to show I've read them. And a lot of what he writes is horror, and I don't really like to read horror. So obviously he's writing Doctor Strange, so yay, that was easy. So I tried Thanos, which again, since the renumbering, which I think is Thanos 13.
Okay.
I had the same reaction as I did to that first Moon Knight after the renumbering of like, oh my God, this is good. This is so good. So that's my other recommendation is like that and Doctor Strange, and it's just I feel Marvel has turned a bit of a corner. They've taken on some really interesting writers, and a lot of the stuff, honestly, stuff that I thought they would be telling these writers, no, you can't play with that. They've just been like, yeah, go for it. And the writers have said that. They were like, yeah, this was in my original pitch, and Marvel said, yeah, just go for it. And there's something very appealing about that.
Yes.
Because they've obviously taken people who've got very clear ideas, like Moon Knight, create a new baddie for Moon Knight. Right? Like, that's not happened in a long time. We're all like, okay.
Well, they still brought back the original baddie, but
yeah. But it would be hard not to.
And he's much different.
Yes,
by about 150 pounds.
I don't think we should be body shaming him. I think he's fine. Like whatever. People change.
I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, I thought.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fat.
Yeah, but it's so funny how
awesome.
Like that seems to be everyone's reaction. Is like, he's so fat, and it's just like, oh God. But it's so creepy, but good, and it's just like it's such a hard character to just. There's been so many good Moon Knight runs recently that it must be so intimidating, and these new guys to Marvel at least have just come in and gone, yeah, whatever. Like Thanos and I mean, how do you take over a Doctor Strange from Jason Aaron? And he's just come in and gone, yeah, I can lock, yeah, we'll have Loki in it, we'll do this, like, that's not a secret, by the way, he's on most of the front covers. And that's not the surprise. And there's just some really cool stuff coming up, and I'm excited again.
Well, just the fact that the writer of Moon Knight is doing something completely different with the psyche. That is Moon Knight. And I gotta be honest, I'm almost a little disappointed that they're missing one. Because I would have loved to also have seen the Fist of Khonshu version have its own psyche there.
Yeah, well, it follows on directly from the previous run, the reasons why. And on the front cover of Damnation is the Mr. Knight version. So everyone's kind of speculating what's if we are getting the Mr. Knight in the white suit. So it's good stuff. It's good times.
Yes.
Lots of good, creepy, good comics to read. And Iron Fist is doing all right. It's still going on. And it's going to still be going on past... we're definitely getting to issue 80, let's put it that way.
Yeah, obviously.
So,
unfortunately, we found out some bad news about Defenders, which we really haven't covered, is that Bendis apparently said it's only going 10 issues. It doesn't look like it's going to get passed on. That could be good, that could be bad.
Yeah, I mean, he said that was originally planned as a finale. Whether that's for him or whatever, We'll see. We'll see how the pacing of the story seems. I think.
But I'm talking about Defenders. I'm now confused with the whole Disney streaming service that apparently is going to start, and that they're saying that they're not going to pull.
I don't think they are. I think the Defender stuff stays with Netflix. Netflix says it's staying with them.
But my biggest concern is like, okay, yeah, we're not going to pull it from you, but you can't use anyone else.
Yeah, I think that might happen.
So are we going to get no guest appearances, no
I think they'll be able
decent
to use
villains?
No, I think they'll be able to use baddies. I think they'll be able to use baddies that maybe Disney don't want to use. Like, I mean, some of the appeal of Netflix has to be that they're putting out 18 rated stuff that Disney might not want to do. So
Netflix
I mean,
is not afraid of dropping the dark stuff.
Right, and I think there's baddies that by necessity. Say Typhoid Mary, you probably don't want to touch that in a Disney one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or you'd have to
Mephisto
water her down so
devil.
much. Yeah, well, Mephisto, I can't imagine. Well, we don't know because like it's also up in the air now. Because if they also go through with their buying of Fox, like who knows? It's all up in the air. But I'm sure there'll be delicate negotiations and.
If Fox is purchased, that will be.
It's looking like it's a done
game
deal.
Changer. Yeah, I know,
So,
but they haven't officially announced it.
They haven't officially announced it, and it's probably going to be a good while before we see the fallout from it.
Mm-hmm. But if that goes down,
it's a big changer.
What's next? Disney's going to buy Apple? I mean, it's getting ridiculous.
The thing is that, like, we don't know. They may want to keep certain things separate in the same way as they've got the Netflix Defenders. It may suit them to have a slightly separate studio doing the sort of R-rated type things like Deadpool and Logan. I don't know. I'm just like, a lot of people are speculating a lot of stuff, and I think the MCU's done pretty good. Like, I think it's earned our trust to a certain extent. That they're not necessarily. I don't think necessarily they're going to go, oh, let's shut down Deadpool now and recast it so we can have it. I don't see what's in it for them.
Oh no, I definitely don't think any of that would happen. I think it would just be moved over.
I think some might not. But again, it may be. I mean, like it's hard to bring the mutants in. It's hard to bring the X-Men into the MCU now because why would you have never mentioned a mutant before? Right, and yes, they can have multiverses and blah blah blah, but maybe just let these guys carry on making their X-Men films. They're doing fine. The new, I mean, you know, okay, up and down quality, whatever, but New Mutants genuinely looks good. It looks terrifying. Like I'm not sure I want to see a horror film, but I'll go see it because it's the New Mutants.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, but I'm personally very averse to horror, but I will still go see it.
So this is one of my disappointments. I still haven't seen the show because I've heard it's dreadful.
Which one?
But the Cloak and not Cloak and Dagger. Is it Cloak and Dagger?
No, that's not out yet. Runaways, Gifted, Inhumans.
Oh, Cloak and Dagger is not out yet? I thought it was.
It's not out yet.
But it looks horrible.
It's not for us though, Carl. It's a kids show.
Oh, I know it's supposed to be a teen drama and all that, but it shouldn't have been.
But the thing is,
literally should have been the dark horror TV show where these two are fighting like creatures on the street, feeding off the young and the damaged and the drug addicted. And plus their inner turmoil of who they are, light in the dark. And then
I don't know. We'll see when it comes, but it's not the one that's jumping out at me. I mean, Runaways has been good. Gifted got a lot better. Inhumans was pretty.
Gifted.
Inhumans was pretty horrible, but watchable horrible. So, and it had Lockjaw in. So, what do I care? I'm being honest. I mean, I've seen worse TV shows in my life, but yeah, it wasn't great.
Well, I think you can. I saw the first two, and I think you would know my biggest gripe over my favorite person. That's not how he rolls.
No.
The martial artist.
Yeah.
That's not his power at all. That's not what he does.
But then they gave what's his name, Max, no powers. So, you know, you've got to assume that someone at Marvel approved all of that. So whatever. That's what I'm saying. They're not 100% trust them at everything, but I trust them enough to just sit back and watch how all these deals fall out. I mean, yes, I do think it means that we will now never get a Moon Knight Netflix show.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. But I also think a Moon Knight TV show is difficult at the moment because Legion's kind of covered the sort of dissociative disorder kind of stuff pretty well, and I don't know. I'd like to have seen a Moon Knight show. I'd like to see what they do, but I just don't think it's going to happen now.
I honestly think a Moon Knight show, you should get like a full season of where you just think he's the one identity.
Yeah, for sure.
And then like at the very end of season 1, you see him start to crack.
Yeah.
And then season 2 is like where you find out, oh, there's more than one person in that head.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to see one. I'd like to see what they do with one. But we will see. But there's all kinds of other things about the deal, is like, because Fox has shares in certain other comics companies, so God knows what that's going to do. It's all let the lawyers sort it out kind of thing for me, and I'll just sit back and look forward to Infinity War. And
now, my hope for Infinity War is I'm hoping for one scene. Hugh Jackman has said he will never be Wolverine again.
Right, I know. Yeah. Unless it's in the MCU.
Right, but here is the loophole. Hugh Jackman can appear as himself, as Hugh Jackman in the credits. Hugh Jackman as Hugh Jackman. And all I need to do is have him sitting at the bar, drinking a beer, have somebody come in and he tells him to F off.
It would be funny.
You could have Wolverine in a Marvel movie. I mean, you might wind up having it anyways if this deal goes through.
Right, exactly.
But you could totally get away with it, and they wouldn't be able to say shit, because if he's in the credits, Hugh Jackman as Hugh Jackman, they never call him Logan, they never call him Wolverine, and he's got somewhat normal hair. They really can't say shit.
Yeah, it would be cool. I'd love that. More likely than many things, but yeah, that's my focus at the moment. Black Panther and Infinity War, and I'll worry about the rest when.
I cannot wait for Black Panther.
Looks so good.
Looks so good.
I know.
I'm actually trying to figure out what day of work I need to take off.
Yeah, I haven't really looked yet. I should probably look, sorry. I was about to swear then. I've got to submit my leave dates for January to March, so I have to decide that soon.
All right, I guess we're going to have to talk about this issue that we can wrap up in like a whopping 45 seconds.
Let's do it. No, shush. Right, we won't go page by page though, but yeah, so this is the team up with Sabretooth part 2.
Is it part 2 or is it part 3?
It says round 2 on the cover, but it seems like round 3 to me as well.
So, we're left off where Choshin?
Yeah.
Let's go with Choshin. Choshin is still trying to get the book because Constrictor double-crossed him. Iron Fist and Sabretooth are also looking for the book because it was stolen.
Yeah.
2 different reasons. Iron Fist wants the book. Constrictor has it. Sabretooth wants to find out who the hell is Constrictor because Constrictor's dead.
Yeah.
The Serpent Society is involved because Constrictor
is with them,
which is odd.
Yep.
And we find out a little bit about that. So a huge fight is ensuing as all parties show up.
And yeah, they've just got a few pages of fighting, basically.
Yes. And angry faces.
Lots of angry faces. Like, they're good, these are good fights. They're not the best ones that Mike Perkins has done, but they're pretty good. Some of the panel layouts are very nice. Like there's on page 3 there where they're naming all the Serpent Society ones. They've got big diagonal panels, like sort of sun rays shooting up. And that's pretty cool. But it's mostly to give you this nice dynamic fight that gives you a sense there's a hell of a lot of people involved. Some of the sort of back chat's a bit lame, but it's not. But it's pretty good. A little bit exposition-y, but hey. Blah, blah, blah. Fight, fight, fight. Danny getting the constrictor runs away.
Is after getting a shot off on Sabretooth, which shouldn't even have been possible.
Yeah.
But again, we won't deal on that. So Constrictor runs. Sabretooth is going after him. So he basically abandons Danny in a pile of a couple hundred of Choshin's men and the rest of the Serpent Society.
Yeah, basically. Constrictor's out on the fire escape. Choshin's there with the Plague of 12 Rats dude, sets him on Constrictor. The Book of the Iron Fist has the Shaolao brand shape on the front. It's like, here you go. It's pretty obvious what this book is that you're carrying. And then Sabretooth and Danny go chase. And they find a beaten up and poisoned
Constrictor.
Well, plagued, I guess. Plagued, Constrictor.
So Sabretooth, of course, pulls off his mask, and it's a
because
kid.
That's what he cares about.
And he's drilling him, and he basically says he is the Constrictor's son. And Sabretooth isn't buying it, and he tells them that they were never married, and as soon as he was born, Constrictor split. He never saw him, but after he died, he left him something in a footlocker, and it was the costume.
Mm-hmm.
And so now he wanted to prove that he could be the better villain than his father was, and it failed miserably.
Yeah.
Sabretooth still isn't believing it, which I also find hard to believe, because with his attuned senses and the fact that not only did he know the mother, but admits he knows the wife also,
that they were together,
the mother and father, you would think he would pick up a similar scent or something.
Yeah. But I like how Danny's so like, right, that's great, but can we go back to finding my book? He's like, Danny, I love you, but like that was a little bit insensitive.
Yeah, a little harsh there.
Yeah.
And the kid passes out from the poison.
Yeah.
And Sabretooth basically pulls the I'm kind of a hero move and decides he's bringing him to the hospital.
Yeah. Basically tells Danny he's on his own, yeah.
And Danny goes back into the room where Serpent Society and Chosen's men are still fighting.
Yeah.
And while that's going on, Chosen has the book and something wrapped up in a cloth and saying, this is the moment we've worked so hard to reach. This is the moment that they will write about, the moment when Kunlun's true sons return to rescue her from the corruption, the cancer that has befallen her. It is time for us to reclaim what is rightfully ours.
And all the mob shout, for Kunlun!
And he unwraps the chicken foot.
Yeah.
It's some mangled, red, disgusting, gnarled...
It's like a mummified hand of the shortest lived of all Iron Fists, Zhang Di.
Zhang Di, which I don't know if that was ever in Immortal.
I really would not be able to tell you off the top of my head, but I don't
think he was.
I don't think so.
So it'd be interesting to find more history on that one. Although he won the title legitimately, he did nothing to bring pride to the position or to Kunlun. He died only 2 weeks after earning the title against
I'm not pronouncing it. The plant people.
Yeah, the plant people from Kunlun.
Yeah, you know them. You all know them. The word no one will say.
Hylithri or something like that. John Byrne's favorite creation.
Mm-hmm.
And he places the hand on the book. And apparently this hand is 600 years old, and a bunch of writing appears, and you see Chosen going, yes!
Very nice reflection of the writing on his eye. There's some beautiful art in those couple of pages.
Mm-hmm. And then we have Sabretooth bringing in Constrictor to the hospital, looking even worse now.
Yeah.
They're rushing him off. They're working on him, and you see, like, Sabretooth pondering. And then we go back to Danny, who is still kicking butt and taking names and dropping the bludgeon dipped in poison punch.
Yeah. On the Serpent Society people. Yeah. He's going after them one by one and punching them.
Well, the sheer fact he's actually taking out 3 people in that one panel.
Yeah. He's doing good. Without his glowy fist.
And of course, Rebecca's favorite part, his costume is shredded again.
His costume is always shredded.
If only it was Venom like it should have been.
Yeah, well, that's why it's always shredded.
If you don't know what we're talking about, we discussed it later. Venom was supposed to be the creation from Kunlun.
Yeah.
Anyways, so he basically kicks everybody's butt except Couch Whip from the Serpent Society, who is a female with
bandage over her eyes.
I don't know if she's supposed to be blind. It's just part of the costume. It's sunglasses. I really don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But he's pretty much asking her where the book is, and she literally has no clue.
Yeah.
They were even shocked that Constrictor had anything to do with them because he had never had anything to do with them before, and then wound up screwing them. And then miraculously, Sabretooth pops back up in the window saying, I've got his scent, we can track him. And then we go to Choshin in front of a portal. The portal to Kunlun is open. The moment we've been fighting for the past century is now upon us. We shall reclaim the heavenly city, rid it of its corruption, of its greed. Kunlun shall be returned to its past glory.
It's kind of like a better version of opening the portal from the Netflix show Defenders. Should have done that. Find the hand of an old Iron Fist and then do that.
Again, the entire crowd yells, for Kunlun.
Yes, they're very excited.
Now, the funniest part here is these people have no clue what has happened in Kunlun in the last 100 years.
Yeah.
And it's not even close to the place they left it as.
No, which is going to be fun, I think, in the coming issues.
And then we go back to Danny and Sabretooth jumping from water tower to water tower, apparently. Apparently there's a lot of water towers in New York. Following the scent and having a little conversation about what was happening with Constrictor and the long
It's quite
lost
funny,
son.
actually. They're quite good quippy together.
And Danny all of a sudden is like, oof, we better hurry. I can feel someone tapping into my chi using the power of the Iron Fist.
I like Sabretooth. Don't take a genius to figure out who. True, it doesn't.
And then they find the portal to find basically 95% of the whole troop already through the hole. And then he's like, no, we're too late. And the remaining guys are like, stop them for Kunlun. Kunlun, I'm the one fighting for Kunlun here. You're the bad guys. As the fight ensues. And Sabretooth makes the crack. If you'd stop running your mouth for half a second, you notice the portal's closing.
And then, great shot of them going through the portal. That's a beautiful page.
They dive through with one of the followers sneaking in behind them. They land in the snow, which is outside of Kunlun. And this is the first time Sabretooth's been there, so he's like, this is it. And the baddie hops up. He's like, for Kun. And not even looking, Iron Fist just, I don't know what he does.
Zaps him in the face with his Iron Fist.
Darkness-inducing side strike.
And says, stop saying that. That's the kind of quip I like Danny making. Because it's not goofy, but it's just, it's born of frustration. So, yeah, I like that.
And now he says, welcome to Kunlun, this is my home. And we see the Chosin's troops on the rope bridge heading towards the castle. And they are halted by the city guard. And the classic line is, my name is Chosin. I am here to save you.
To be continued.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's it.
So, a good issue.
Yeah. I liked it more than the last issue.
Pushes the storyline forward. We're finally at Kunlun, so some really good stuff should start happening. Not that this issue was bad.
Yeah, it's just a kind of intermediary one. Like, we all want to know what's going to happen at Kunlun.
Right.
So it's always frustrating to, like, stop. But yeah, there's comics for you. They have to have cliffhangers and stuff.
Correct.
So I thought it was pretty solid. I like the art. Like I said, I enjoyed it more than last issue.
No, I did also. My biggest thing is wondering what's going to happen next issue. What is Kunlun going to look like? Where is this writer going to pull his information from? Is he going to take from Carl Andrews?
Yeah, I mean, we have no idea.
Is the Thunderer's blind daughter in charge? You know, we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, so it's kind of exciting. So I'm looking forward to next.
So we'll have to see if what's been written continues or he just decides to do his own thing. So it's going to be interesting.
And we'll know from there what the likely trajectory going forward is, I guess, because I'm guessing this is where we're establishing the front line.
Is the tree gone still?
Who knows? And what the hell is happening with Gork and Pei? But I think we're going to stick with Kunlun for now and see what's happening there first.
It was Karen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't want to get into that. Oh, brother.
So yeah, that's the issue.
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
Good artwork,
stuff.
good story,
Yeah.
Great coloring, good layout. Can't complain.
No, it was a good one. It was a pleasure to do.
So buy it.
Yeah, buy it, read it. Let us know what you think about it. Go to the Facebook page, email in. All the details are on the Facebook page. I don't know any of the details off by heart.
No, Connor will
put it in the notes and stuff.
Yes, he will cut in and out sound clip with all the other info and links. But thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure, and we will talk to you next time. Peace.
Yeah. Take care. Bye.
Iron Fist and all other characters in these comics are properties of Marvel and Disney. Any music or images we use belong to their respective copyright holders. We do this for fun, so please don't sue us. You can contact us at sonsofthedragonpodcast@gmail.com. Just send us mail, comments, thoughts, anything you want really. Doesn't even have to be related to Iron Fist. If you don't want it read on the air though, make sure you mention that. You can also find us on Facebook, the Immortal Iron Fist Podcast, Sons of the Dragon. Our Twitter, at Iron Fist Podcast. Our Soundcloud, soundcloud.com/Sons of the Dragon, hyphens where the spaces are. Our YouTube, Connor Karl. Just search Iron Fist Podcast and you'll find us real quick. We are also on iTunes. If you find us there, give us a review and rate us. If it's less than 5 stars, please say why so we can improve the show. And we're on Podcast Garden in the literature section. And last but not least, head over to our WordPress, Sons of the Dragon, the Immortal Iron Fist Podcast.wordpress.com. That's where I put all the show notes. And I would like to thank Thomas Tissot for letting us use his Iron Fist theme song for the start of our show. And finally, thanks to you guys for listening.